think every time we've done a live thing, there's been some kind of
always
some chord that doesn't work. Or
Yeah, that's like a prerequisite for doing anything live. Is things have to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We are live now. I'm just
Whoa.
gonna move this box now. Yeah.
We're on a podcast.
Welcome to the podcast,
Hold on
Billy
to your
and Tait
hats.
and
Thank you.
Becca.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna keep on talking from kind of where we were.
Okay. Yeah. What about VR and Nerf
VR,
guns and-
Christmas gifts, and
Yeah.
what we've done since being barricaded into our streets with snow plows.
I'm one of those odd people that actually enjoys the snow. No, don't hate me.
Hey, I didn't like snow until I didn't discover snowboarding, but until somebody took me snowboarding on my 5th year here, I think. It's
Yeah.
like for the first 5 years in Kelowna, I had no reason to like winter whatsoever. But then I went snowboarding. I was like, okay, this is fine. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll get over it now.
And you still keep that up?
Didn't go last year, but this year, I think tomorrow, we're either going to go ice skating
tomorrow.
or snowboarding over at
Nice.
Apex. Haven't been there yet. I've only done Big White.
Okay.
Same, actually.
Really? You haven't
Yeah.
done Silver Star either? Like, oh, goodness. Yeah. There's some really good mountains. Apex, I hear, is quite steep.
Yeah. It's, a guy who lives in Glen Rosa, he was telling me that him and his daughter, they would always go to Apex since years and years ago. And he's like, man, one time I had to wait 2.5 minutes to go up the chair. So like, okay, cool, I'll go with that.
No, I love snowboarding. We took last year off too, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oddly enough, since there's nothing else to do last year, but
Yeah. I haven't had a season's pass for years though. It's been like 4 days a season or, rent a chalet with friends, which is still like the shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a couple people that have some Big White properties and like chalets and condos and such. I haven't been able to stay up there yet, but did for some events. But yeah, it's cool. Cool
Yeah.
place.
My favorite village, we go to Sun Peaks a couple times every
Yeah.
year. The village up at Sun Peaks is like,
it's so nice.
It's
I've
so
never
beautiful.
actually snowboarded there, but the village is so beautiful there.
it's like narrow cobblestone pathways and like bridges and it's very narrow and all the buildings are, I don't know. It just reminds me of it's a legit village.
Do you know like those Christmas miniatures that some people have in their houses where they're like miniature little condos and houses that
Yeah,
in like wintry
yeah.
scenes? That's what it's like. And
Like
there's
the little gnome houses. It's like
Yeah.
too small to be in your front yard, but it's too big to
yeah.
like to put anywhere else. It's just like, yeah.
It's magic. Yeah. We need to actually snowboard there though, but yeah.
Yeah.
The village is very nice.
Definitely
so
need
you-
to check out more.
So you've only been to Big White. I don't actually know where both of you are like from. Are you from like Okanagan area or? when
I'm
did
actually
you
from
move here?
Winnipeg. I moved here about 7-ish years ago, maybe 8, coming up on 8.
Mhm.
So you know real snow.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty good. This is a good amount of snow. Kelowna doesn't often get this much where it actually stays, but Winnipeg is like this the whole season, every year.
Wasn't the season about 8 months long?
And that, yeah.
Yeah, my grandpa used to live there, and he didn't like it. Like,
Yeah.
the people were nice, but you don't go there for the landscape.
I can't imagine waking up to as much snow as they get over in Ontario and stuff too. It's like,
Oh yeah, dumps like this much will
blocks in
happen
your
in one
house.
night.
Like,
Yeah, blocks in your car. It's much worse than this.
Yeah, I spoke with this Quebec guy, and he was telling me, like, yeah, like where he's from in Quebec, they don't plow it; they just pack it down. Because if you plowed it, it'd be Super Mario levels, where like it's just like
Yeah.
walls, and you couldn't walk to anywhere. Like
So
everything
how
would just be completely blocked in. So they just pack the snow down and drive on top of it.
how do they do that? They have like a giant steel plank and just. I'm picturing some odd machinery right now.
I imagine it's like a general purpose like road building equipment. Like they know like that big barrel thing and just like rolls over top of the tarmac or not tarmac asphalt and just like packs it down.
Oh,
It's like
Yeah.
drive that with like a studded metal barrel over snow.
Tank.
I don't know. It could just be a bunch of people who are bored with like shovels just like standing on it, like packing down like little bits at a time. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Being an idiot.
Well, I
have
wasn't
to
born
look
in
into it.
I wasn't born in Winnipeg, so I didn't have to worry about that. I was born in Richmond, so I moved to the Okanagan when I was 4 years old.
Oh, cool.
But I remember heavy snowfalls back then. It's got significantly less, but this is a pretty good year.
Yeah, this is a lot more than any year. I've only been here for 9. This is my 10th year, but this is more than I ever remember. And yeah, it kind of sucks. Like I don't know what you guys are driving, but I've got a little hatchback, and I can't get in or out of my alley with like I've got 3 entrances to the alley, and 2 of them I can't get in or out of without like a good amount of momentum because the plows just like make this little ice wall.
Do they even plow the alley? Like
No. The alley is plowed by cars driving on it.
Yeah.
On it. That's
They'll just
that's
wait
it.
for it to
You're
melt.
screwed.
They're never coming
Yeah, pretty
down.
much.
yeah.
Like each neighbor just kind of plows like right in front of their house, and if they don't, like with a shovel, then just go faster over that bit.
Yeah. Keep the momentum up. Yeah, I don't know. Billy's got a little Subaru, and even with like, I don't know, the tires are like pretty low tread even, but that thing just,
It's fine.
Get a
I've never had an
Subaru.
issue. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you had one.
I loved my Subaru.
they're
Yeah.
amazing in the snow.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the only
Until-
my RAV does top it, but
Yeah.
no, the Subaru. I loved my Outback.
I have an Outback too. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, this is the place where you realize why people drive trucks.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, I
okay,
feel
I
like-
kind of get it now.
Billy's Subaru is better than my truck, I swear. Like 4-wheel drive and like fresh tires, I'm sliding way more than when I bomb around in
You
yours.
gotta have like a few dozen cinder blocks in the back or something to make it anywhere close to stable. Otherwise, I'll get like the fish tailing all over the place.
Well, funny story. I have a lot of weight in the back of my truck right now. It's a giant broken mirror and a.
Oh.
Okay, you want to
yeah.
hear a story? I got a story.
Tell me. Story time.
We've been renting a dance studio, Rob Card Dance, for I don't know, probably like 5 years now. Shout out to Rob Card.
Yeah.
But,
Rob Card Dance.
Yeah, Rob Card Dance. So I do that big wacky wheel thing, Cyr Wheel, and I was just waiting for the day that I would actually break one of these mirrors because a whole wall in each one of the studio rooms is like 8-foot tall mirror.
Oh, like dance studio
Dance
mirrors
studio
with like the
proper,
like
yeah.
wall to wall, floor to ceiling.
Yeah, and I'm spinning around in a 6-foot wide diameter ring of death. But yeah, so I actually have it on video too. But I was trying a very difficult move where you like jump above the top bar, and I came down and just, I mean, what you want to do when you're bailing on a Cyr Wheel is not let it go, because if you do that, it can fly into the audience or whatnot. So the goal is to always hang on to it. So I did, but I happened to come down right close to the mirror and just slammed it right into the glass.
Okay, the first time that you and I actually started talking at all was when I bumped into you at Stewart Park and I saw you on the Cyr Wheel.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought of was, how many times have you munched your fingers underneath that?
I only maybe like 3 times, because you do it once.
It looks
You learn.
really painful if you
Yeah.
do it. Because it is solid metal, isn't it?
I think
Like,
it's
it's pretty heavy.
I think it's aluminum or hollow steel. I want to say it's only like 20 pounds.
He balances it on his face, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, it's not that. It's just big and awkward. But yeah, long story short, there's a Rubbermaid full of the broken mirror in the back of my truck, and it weighs a lot.
I didn't realize you had. I gotta check that
It's
out.
still in there. Yeah,
I think it's some cool ideas to do with that, actually.
yeah. I gotta throw it away somewhere. So I don't know.
Get like a tarp.
If anyone wants it for an art project,
Glue down a bunch of glue all the pieces down to the tarp as close as possible, then like wrap it over something. So you have like this broken glass kind of art piece.
They're cool on the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want it for your studio? You can do a mosaic.
I can think of some ideas for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll take
maybe
the crap.
after the winter, when I take my sandbag out.
Yeah, we need it till the end
Yeah.
of the winter.
Yeah, it's functional for now.
It was just one of those moments where you're just like, holy shit, did that just happen? I just stared at it. I'm like, okay. I went and turned the music off and just sat in front of it. I'm like, that's an expensive mistake.
We've talked about it so many times too. Almost
Yeah.
every practice, like, don't hit the mirror, don't hit the mirror.
Yep. So now I line the mirror with mats that have always been there that I didn't think I needed, but I do now. 'Cause I don't have $1,000 bill every time that happens. So
Oh man, yeah,
Yeah.
those mirrors are a lot. There's like big pieces of glass, big mirrors. I'm always shocked at how much they cost. Like there's a new brewery downtown, and there's like a piece
there's like 6 new breweries.
Oh, sorry, not a new one. Redbird, like the new expansion.
Oh,
onto
yeah,
it.
okay.
Like, have you seen any of the back room yet?
No,
Oh my god.
because
it's
I thought they were
gorgeous.
taking over the parking lot next
Yeah.
door, right? Is it that?
So that and also the building back behind.
Okay.
So they've got.
Because it's like a music venue now, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's if you have like a venue license, it's like more than 1,000 people,
wow.
and
Wow.
I'm stoked for.
That's
whenever that
legit.
happens.
Kelowna needs more of that.
Oh,
'cause-
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That place is going to be bumping in the summertime. Like last summer, they had all like and the one before they had all like the fencing, like the modular link fences that would like eat into like the street parking and add like another 50 people out there. But now it's going to be big.
That's sweet. I would love to do something there.
Yeah. They are Adam, the owner. He's really wanting to push stuff happening there, and then like the actual like inside bit, like the back room of the building. There's like this massive piece of glass, like the price of a car.
Wow.
And they have like all of the beer things to do like multiple different kinds of beer. I don't remember what it is. It's like per week or something like that. They can put like several thousand cans a day, but they can like switch which kind of beer it's making, which is like impressive for most beer places. Like most of the times, like this piping does this kind of beer and that's it. But they have like multiple different. I have no idea what I'm talking about for like what the words are. But like the big circular vat things, like the.
I follow like the mad scientist
the
brewery
silos.
stuff.
The silos, like all the barley, and like there's that
Yeah.
massive big red silo outside. So it's gonna be a sweet place.
I love it.
Yeah.
That whole section of Kelowna is bumping now. Like there's so many little breweries along Clement there, and like Welton Arms, and I don't know,
Haven't been there
that
yet.
tattoo's
No.
awesome.
We know the people who own Welton.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Rob from
Rob
Fred
MB.
Skeleton, right?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He's an awesome guy.
Yeah. We share snake photos on Facebook all the time.
What's his snake's name again?
I don't know. It's the boa constrictor.
Yeah. He just
He's got
posted a photo of it.
He has
Yeah.
a boa constrictor.
He's got a big boa constrictor.
and he holds it.
Oh yeah. I think he has a little like corn snake and ball python. I think he has literally two of the same snakes I do. But yeah.
Okay. Snake. Why'd you get a snake? Like it sounds
Yeah.
cool to have a snake, but
It's really cool.
like, and I get how that could be it. That could be the extent of it. Like, why'd you do this? It sounded cool. I've done that, but you got to have a pet for a while.
Yeah, this one a long time too. It's like 20 years. It's longer than a dog. But it's like, it was purely fascination. Like, it's such an amazing animal. It's been around for, past the dinosaurs. It doesn't have limbs.
Don't they have legs, but they never grow? Like, there's actually like 4 leg bones that are
There's-
like tiny.
Yeah,
but they
there's
never
little
grow.
tiny protruding scales, I think, where their limbs were supposed
Yeah.
to be. But then there's also like legless lizards. Like the difference between a lizard and a snake is they have eyelids and probably some other internal anatomy. But it looks like a snake, but it's a lizard. It doesn't have limbs. It's this weird evolution thing. But
Yeah, that's bizarre.
I don't know. I swayed away from getting a snake for the longest time because I didn't want to feed. I didn't want to have to get a live mouse every week and do the Discovery Channel episode. And not that it's fascinating, but like I just didn't want to have live rodents, in my house just waiting to.
Do you don't just like let it loose and be like, good luck?
Yeah, probably could. Well, yeah. Once I learned you can literally just get frozen rodents, put them in your freezer. Our freezer is really interesting, so
Yeah, there's definitely.
you just thaw it out, and But yeah,
Does the snake want to hunt, or is it just like, I don't care as long as I'm not hungry?
they're lazy animals.
It seems like, you do the feeding obviously, but they don't really seem like they're trying until you wave it in front of their face, and then they'll go for it. But
Unless they're hungry. Like Ivan, my big guy, gets like pretty vicious.
I guess they're cold blooded too. So right now I bet he does next to nothing. Like just with it being like -5 right now or something.
It's his breeding season too. So all my snakes every year they go off food. The longest time he went off food was 6 months. So it's like you still have to offer, but he won't take it. So I couldn't imagine going off food for 6 months looking for sex. Like,
What do you
but
do
that's
with
literally
the
what
mice?
he's doing.
It's like,
You can
all right, this one's been a month.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Do
You can refreeze it a few times, but yeah, then you gotta.
you have to thaw
Toss
their
it.
food like a, like a microwave dinner?
Just hot water.
Come on, Ivan, here's a KD.
Yeah.
Come get your fresh Stewart.
Did you see them last time you were over? Like, did you poke your head in? Like,
I saw Ivan in his cage
Yeah.
tank. It was like a big box thing, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I saw him in there, but I didn't see him out.
because typically every party ends up with the snakes around people's necks by the end,
I think we left
and me
before that
spewing
happened.
all my
Yeah.
scientific facts about snakes, pretending I'm Steve Irwin or something. But yeah, I don't know. They're just fascinating, and they're a really weird relationship. Like, it's certainly not a dog. It's not going to come when you call it, but it's like they really teach you to slow down. I would say that's the biggest thing, because if you're a frantic, sketchy person, just don't touch one of my snakes, because that will turn that snake into an angry specimen.
Exactly the
And
kind
it'll
of snake
probably
that
wanna
everyone
bite you,
thinks
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
You want to chill out and just, but my guys get handled quite a bit. And I don't know. Billy saw a pretty good bite one time during a feeding session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have venomous snakes, do you?
No.
They're all
Thankfully, 'cause
constrictors?
it did bite Tate.
Yeah. He bit my hand really good and caught a vein and it like swelled up. And I was like nervous, but also really excited because it never really happens. And I'm like,
It was a funny moment because it jumped for Tate, bit his hand, and it like stayed on him. It like wrapped around his hand for a while. And Tate was like kind of excited, but kind of like, okay, I don't know what to do. It's dripping blood, and I'm like, should I record this? In my head? I didn't, and then looking back, I wish I did. You would have liked it.
yeah.
Yeah, I
It-
definitely understand like why parents start filming their kids as soon as like they're about to do something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm gonna film until like you're crying for like a few seconds, and then I'll put the phone down. I'll
Yeah.
go over and help you out.
Yeah. That would have been a good scene.
Yeah.
And it always looks like way more because in their spit or their saliva, for the more proper way to say it, they have an anticoagulant, so you just bleed. So it's little tiny pinpricks, but it's just
It just
dripping.
doesn't clot.
Yeah,
It's like the opposite of mosquitoes, where like they want your blood to clot quick. Oh no, it's the same thing as
same
mosquitoes.
thing.
Yeah,
It could be.
Make it
Yeah,
More
I
soft.
hate mosquitoes.
I think it's just so they like, I don't know, their prey like subsides faster and gets weak. That's my theory.
I started following. I don't know if you like having snakes. I don't know if you like you kind of enjoy watching some of the more gruesome things that reptiles do, but there's a couple of videos. I don't know if you've seen them or not. Like of
Nature's metal.
Well, that's a great thing to follow as well.
Tate's
That's a
favorite.
great one. But
Wilds of
they're
Earth.
not monitor lizards. They're the Komodo dragons.
Komodo dragons.
Yeah, so there's a couple of videos of them like eating not deer, not elk, but like something of the deer family, elk sized, which in wherever part of the world they are, whatever's native over there. And they're kind of like coyotes, where they'll eat from like the back legs, or like from the ass forward,
Yeah.
and they're not dead while they're being eaten.
Oh my god.
So it's like
like a
this
bear.
massive, like small moose laying on its side, and this Komodo dragon is like its guts are half out, and it's just like going through, and the thing is yelling and screaming and crying, and someone's filming this. Like
Yeah.
it's a long video. And it's like, are you gonna make it stop? Nope. Might as well film this.
Nature is beautiful.
I want to say I'm disgusted, but we'll probably Google that after.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm always sharing those videos with
Yeah.
Billy.
Well, I heard about that one, and there's another one with a Komodo dragon eating a monkey. I didn't see the monkey one, but apparently I don't know which one there was more yelling from the creature being eaten, but both there's a lot of yelling.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, Wilds Untamed, Wilds of the Earth, and Nature is Metal. That's
Yeah, there's one you follow specifically where it's like human and animal interactions.
oh, yeah. Crocodile ones on humans is like
Why are you messing with a crocodile, like poking it in the nose and stuff?
yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
crocodiles are just they're some of the weirdest creatures I know of, just because like they are.
They're garbage
They're-
disposals.
Yeah, they are. They
Yeah.
eat rotten meat.
Yeah.
They have like less brain than I have beer in this can, and that's all they need. They're just a massive destroying machine that eats the remains of rotting creatures. Like, what the fuck?
See, that's all you need to be around on this planet for millions and millions of years. You
Yeah.
just need to
Yeah.
be stupid and have one thing on your mind.
I think it's in Florida that they
and do it really well.
yeah, like Florida, like they actively encourage you to go kill crocodiles because there's way too many, or
Yeah.
alligators. They have way too many. They're like
Florida's-
invading golf clubs. They're invading people's yards. There's one video of this guy who actually forces one into a garbage can.
I've
Like
seen that
You
one.
saw that
Yeah.
one? That was so good.
Badass.
Like, man,
It looked like
guy.
he planned it. He'd done it before with the lid. How it, like, just scooping up my
There's
alligator.
a cranky gecko in this bucket here.
Oh, Florida's so screwed up with their Everglades with the it was a hurricane that let loose all the big snakes, the
Oh, is that what happened?
Burmese pythons. Like
Yeah,
they're
the
not
wi-
native to there.
But they've just taken over.
Yeah, and they're eating the crocodile or alligators and stuff too. Like they've wiped out everything. That's just literally like a hurricane coming and releasing giant snakes in the Everglades.
What's up
They
with
have
these
reality
motherfucking
sh-
snakes in my motherfucking yard? What the fuck?
Well, they get reality shows out of it now. Just follow like these redneck dudes going
It's
around the
true.
Everglades on their little hover dinghies,
Yeah.
catching snakes. Won't
man.
get. And I watch it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the funny thing is like this stuff is so crazy and so wild. Like it sounds made up, and it's like, no, this is someone's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just do this.
It's all that like Tiger King shit and stuff too. Like,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. The amount of like exotic wild animals. I mean, and I guess I'm one of them, but I don't have a tiger or an anaconda, but the amount of exotic animals. And
Are there rules on what kinds of snakes you can and can't have, like as pets?
I don't think I'm allowed to have the one I have in particular even. But I think it's like it's a length, I think up to 8 feet or something.
But don't they just never stop growing? Or is that a total myth?
That's a myth. Yeah. Crocodiles and alligators don't. They keep growing. Yeah.
Is it? I think it's lobsters that will grow until they can't support the weight of their own bodies, and that's what kills them. They're
Really?
theoretically immortal, but they like as you grow in 3 dimensions, like it's not like you're growing double the length, you're twice as heavy. It's like you're exponentially more heavy because you're growing like, in all directions. So eventually they become too big and heavy to actually move around, and then they die that way.
Their limbs don't grow to support?
Everything grows. Like they shed their shells.
Yeah.
So like they'll crawl out of their old shell, then there's a new softer one underneath, and that one hardens and then become bigger, and that keeps them happy, just like snakes. But eventually they get so big they can't move fast enough, they can't support their own weight. It's too much shell mass.
Wow.
And they die that way, but they don't have like an end of life.
Wow.
They just can't live anymore.
So if you like those ones even in Superstore, if they had just left one and just let it keep going?
I suppose, I don't know if this is true, but if you could find a way to help a lobster live, like give it the equivalent, it can be anywhere, don't worry about it. If you like had like the equivalent of like a lobster walker
Yeah.
to like help it get around, it could probably grow to be about the size of a person.
So we could buy one because we're thinking about getting a pond. So we could get a pond. Put a
Yeah.
lobster in it.
Doesn't have to be salt water though. Like
Yeah, those are saltwater creatures.
Well, we could put. Can
But
you make a saltwater pond?
probably we can do anything.
I want a pet lobster.
You and I can do anything. I know this. I did watch a YouTube video actually recently where a guy like he filmed it all too, but he got a lobster from a grocery store and put it in a tank at home, and it was really cool because like almost instantaneously, especially when he cut off the little elastic bands around its claws, behavior just changed rapidly. Like their tails are all curled up. I think when
Yeah.
they're scared or whatever, its tail went up, kind of like a scorpion. And it's
Don't
all
they swim
walking around.
backwards?
Could be. He was crawling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know like that their tail is like the majority of their muscle mass. Like that in the claws, obviously. Like if
That's why they're so delicious. It's all in the tail.
What was that? What?
I don't know. I just want lobster. It was on the menu last night. We didn't get it.
Yeah.
had Red Lobster a few weeks ago, or no, not a few weeks ago. It was early November. 2 months ago. Had lobster 2 months ago at a Red Lobster in Toronto, and once a year is good. There's so much butter and there's so much garlic. The
Right.
butter, it's so good, but it's a fun way to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overdosing on butter. But yeah, it's just such a rich flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
And I mean, it's just so funny because, like, that is such a gnarly looking creature. Crabs, lobster, like, it's a giant scorpion. Like, it's a bug.
Oh yeah,
You know,
they're
if
sea
that thing was
bugs.
crawling along the land, you'd be like, I'm not eating that.
Like, go get a crocodile to beat this thing with.
Yeah. Because aren't people like we're trying to shift into more like bug diet to support
Yeah.
farms or whatever?
That's
Like
right.
people are like, ew, like I don't want to eat crickets. I'm like, well, a lobster looks like a giant cricket. Like, it's in the same.
It's an
World.
arachnid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
it's a sea
spider.
bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to think about the whole like eating insects thing. I might slap somebody who brings a bunch of locusts to dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just gnarly looking, right? But I don't know.
It's just like, what did Gerald bring? Steaks. What did Steve bring? Brought some chicken wings. What did Jennifer bring? Oh, she brought a bunch of shrimp. What did George bring? Brought a bunch of fucking scorpions. On kebabs.
They're probably
Wants
delicious.
to grill some scorps in the barbecue.
Just a big Ziploc bag of crickets.
If everyone else is trying it, I'll try it once.
Yeah. Someone gave me a sucker one time that had a scorpion inside.
That's
I've
true.
seen
You
those.
ate that sucker too.
Well, then it got to like the point where it's like, you know, you're sucking it and then it's just like the scorpion is like scraping on your tongue. I'm like, it didn't have flavor. It's like, just tastes like there was dirt inside the sucker. I'm like, if it was softer, maybe I would chew it or.
Yeah, when we
You
went
know.
to the bug zoo in Victoria, they had like a whole rack of like bug candy.
Yeah, they're all like the suckers. I think they have like a bag of some kind of fly or grasshopper.
Mealworms.
Mealworms, that was it. Yeah,
And cricket.
very appetizing.
We feed those to our chickens.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. So I could bring a whole bag. You can
There's-
get it at Buckerfield's.
There's a neighbor a couple of doors down. I haven't met the chicken, but there's a chicken. I think her name is Maggie, and sometimes she'll like the son of the lady who lives there. Like he'll leave the gate open a little bit sometimes, and she escapes. And so the neighbors that you met, they didn't know about one of them didn't know about the chicken. Like the upstairs one didn't know, but the downstairs one, he's been here for like 30 plus years, and he knows the whole neighborhood. He's seen the neighborhood grow up. Like he was telling me about trees that used to exist decades ago, like with fond memories. But yeah, they're like, hey, Kevin, there's a chicken here. He's like, oh, it's Maggie. He's like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, come here, Maggie. And she starts falling behind him, and he just opens up the gate a little bit. Like, in you go. And she runs back inside, and it's like, what?
It's legit. Yeah, they know their names even. Like
Well, the one that we've had the longest, she knows her name. She follows Tait around in summer when the
Tofu.
gates open. Tofu.
She's big and blonde, and yeah.
How many chickens do you have? Was it 3 or 4?
I got 4 right now because I don't know, some of them just like, well, we lost some in that heat wave or heat dome we had last year.
Oh.
So I had a couple like black feathered chickens, and they just couldn't handle it. They're like on the ground right in front of the water dish. And
Oh, man.
all you could do, like I called up farmers, and like they just run a sprinkler all day long. I'm like, well, a little late now. So I guess next year if we get a plus 40 week, I'll just have to do that. But yeah, no, we have 4 right now, 3 pretty interesting ones, and then Tofu is beautiful. The other 3 are little.
We have a favorite.
We have a favorite. We have Ren, Stimpy, a no name, and Tofu.
You have a chicken named Stimpy?
Yeah. He is a Stimpy too. He's got a like bald patch on his ass, and just he's really friendly. But yeah. They're hilarious, man. They are hilarious animals. Like, yeah. And just with the new place, we got like a legit coops. I don't know if you saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I remember seeing the old place, like the yard in the new place is like a good 3-4 times as big.
Yeah. So I built there's like a 15 by 15 encased run, and then their A-frame coop is attached to that, which is like another 5 by 10 run. So
Okay, I didn't get a good look at that because it was nighttime when we were over.
we could easily have like 20 chickens now. We're not going to.
Is 20 the limit, or is it 10?
I think 0.
There's a limit.
I don't
unless
think we're
you're a
allowed,
farmer.
actually,
No,
yeah.
you're allowed chickens for sure.
Really?
But it is up to a certain number, and then like above that, you have to be like a registered farmer or be on like agricultural land. Or there's like some kind of thing that separates you from how many you can have. But yeah, it's something like that. But you can have chickens as pets for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I just heard a bunch of people tell me no, or you need a half acre, or this and that. And I'm like, okay, my rule is if all the neighbors are okay with it, we can have chickens. So as soon as we
snakes,
moved in,
chickens.
yeah.
Why do you get the animals you get?
Well, the chickens was the pandemic. Like we were bored.
I don't know what made
So
us
they're
think
new.
of that, but
Very new, yeah. They're
Oh.
like
from last
since
summer,
yeah,
last spring.
yeah, 2020
Yeah.
summer, yeah.
So
Yeah,
they
2020.
weren't there when I was over at the old place. Or no, they were.
We just got them then, so they were very young. That was, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I can't remember when you were.
That
at
would
the
have
old place.
been,
Was it Numa?
yeah,
Yeah?
before Numa, just a little bit before. Because I
Okay.
came over to do like a little dry run with
Right.
the various parts of the performance. Like it was that really small area that we were kind of navigating around, and then the actual event was at the new place.
So we probably got them in.
Well, we
Because
got
we
them.
moved in April.
Yeah,
Mm.
we got them in like the lockdown time, so I don't think we'd even met you yet because we weren't hanging out with anyone. It was like just you and me. We were both at home.
So it was probably later that year, and they weren't laying eggs yet.
No.
But they were probably little.
And
But
just-
yeah.
just take the snake nearby and be like, if you don't start laying eggs, some
It
of those
was-
mice are going to get a day off.
Dude, when you get your first egg,
It was exciting.
I
Yeah.
lost my shit.
It's like when I don't know if you guys ever have a garden, but like planting a seed and you go out every day to check if it's
Yeah.
sprouted
Yeah,
yet.
you would know about that. I plant things and they die.
Billy's my
I
farmer.
never planted anything.
Well, I planted things as a kid, and then
Oh, okay.
they died.
Well, that was Kuwait, to be.
Yeah, that's
be
true.
fair.
Growing tomatoes in the
You couldn't
in
grow
the
any
desert
other.
of plus 55 is not a very
Yeah.
ideal situation.
It's
No.
challenging.
I mean, it worked, but it worked in the way that, yeah. Anyways,
Well, you got your grape plant out in the backyard. backyard.
Yeah, but you did most of that. I watered it like twice. So Dustin, he had a grapevine that was planted out here. He also used to have a koi fish pond in the backyard.
Oh,
Like he dug
cool.
out one of like the little plant. You can't see anything right now because it's all covered in snow. But there's like these little holes in the concrete for like dirt patches, and he dug out one of them, put in a nice big tarp, built up the edges like a bunch of wooden wall things, like draped the tarp over top, nice wooden stuff around that, built a little waterfall feature, and had a full-on koi fish pond.
Nice.
And then he had
awesome.
like a water circulating out of that to water the grapevine. So it was very, very good water, and the grapevine every single year has been over top of the eaves troughs.
Wow.
And last year we had enough grapes to, I'm not even kidding, cover this entire table with grapes. Like it was a lot. Some of them went bad. There was just too many to eat. And then Becca made a bunch of grape juice out of it. Couldn't get through it fast enough, and yeah, like
Those
half a
went
bottle went
bad.
bad.
I love that. We want to do a pond next year. Like, we moved in last year, so this year it's like to work on the yard. We want to do the fence and do the garden because there's like just a stupid amount of space that we're not going to use
Yeah,
unless
we
we
have so
put
much space.
garden or a garage or something. So, but yeah, we want to do a pond as well because it's just like, yeah, it's just fertilizer, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. It's
Yeah, no, fish pond water it's great for any other garden stuff you have going on.
because what are
And-
those systems called where it's like
Aquaponics.
aquaponics? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
The running water, as long as the water's moving, it's okay during wintertime as well. Down to like minus 10 or something, or 15. It's like quite a low,
Do
low
the fish
temperature.
freeze in the ice?
No, they just hang out the bottom. Sometimes they'll freeze, but then in the springtime they're back at it again.
Well,
As long as there's still running water, then they're usually fine.
Yeah,
I
but
hear
it's
you
always
just-
warmer at the bottom of a pond than the top.
but you have to be cautious of raccoons. I hear that's like
Oh,
the
yeah.
big
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
You got to give like an overhang where they can hide. From
Yeah,
something reaching down.
birds, raccoons, neighborhood cats. If you got those, we got a few
Yes.
cats that patrol the neighborhood, sometimes badly.
Mm.
Some
I
rats
wonder if you even
got
have like
into your
hawks
engine
or
bay.
something. I wonder if like osprey, if it was like
Yeah.
flying
Owls.
over. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like it's a
Blue
nice big
herons
meal.
probably too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The koi fish are like expensive
Super
too.
expensive.
Yeah. He got them. They were about maybe that long, and then when he moved out and he sold them all, they were about.
They're probably like
This big.
$1,000 a fish. I'm not even lying.
There's
at that size.
There's two different varieties. One is like the original Japanese breed of koi fish, and those are very, very expensive, like around 1,000 or more
yeah.
per fish. And there's another kind of koi fish which doesn't grow to be as big, and it's not nearly the same price. But yeah, I think he had the second one.
We might cheap out
Get some
the first
goldfish.
run because we might screw it all up. Like, yeah,
Some goldfish. That sounds good.
goldfish sounds great.
Goldfish get big too outside, don't they?
I want turtles too. Like,
Don't they just grow to be the size of their environment?
Yeah, I think so.
we already talked about this with snakes and lobster.
No, lobsters grow until they die.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a fish thing though.
Okay, so something I'm actually curious about, and I have no idea how you get into circus performing stuff, but what do you call the kinds of performances that you do? Because I saw you wrote them as art flows, cabarets. I don't know what to call it though. It's just a wide variety of performances. Like, how do you classify Kinshira?
It's the hardest thing to classify. It's so weird and unique. It was easy when we just did fire spinning and flow arts, which flow arts I would describe as like, flow props or like the poi or the staff or the hula hoops. I would kind of loosely classify it there. But then, over the last 5 years, we've gotten into like the circus arts and more like dance. So merging the two, I just think we're like a big variety act now. And we can just merge all those little terms and keywords, and we're just weird, man.
Yeah, whenever I try to tell people about it, I just describe it as, I don't use these words because I just thought of them now, it's like event augmenters. Like, it just makes the event cooler because just like there's stuff happening around. It's like, oh, that's sweet. There's like a stilt walk over there. Or that's
Yeah.
sweet. There's somebody spinning around from a thing hooked to the ceiling. That's dope. There's a thing that's rolling down the hallway and that's got a person in it.
Yeah.
It's just cool stuff.
Yeah, we classify like those kind of like atmosphere kind of acts like stilt walkers as rovers. So, and that's like our bread and butter. Like, I want to say 2/3 of the year, almost even if we do like a stage show, it'll have like stilt walkers hired as a component of that event. So it's like a greeting party is people that get off a bus. You go stilt walkers coming up to the bus or
Mhm.
serving hors d'oeuvres or whatever. So yeah, the roving entertainment, it's doesn't even have classification anymore. It can be everything from like people doing acro yoga to a juggler to just a really beautifully dressed character serving.
Champagne
Champagne?
dress.
Yeah, the champagne dress is. Have you seen that? That thing's really cool. It's a mobile
Maybe.
bar. It holds
Oh, no, I haven't.
92 champagne flutes. So
Whoa, okay. that's
For, like-
Basically, yeah, like it's like a metal dress, so it's just like the base of the dress. So the girl wears a dress, and then in it she's got like a metal skirt. That's
is it like a
made of champagne.
donut-shaped like tray? It's like a massive pizza dish that you can wear like a skirt, and it's like I'm just gonna put stuff on this and
Well, we
just
have-
walk.
we
around
have one of
passing
those
them
too.
out.
We have
That's
one
the
of those too,
candy
yeah.
skirt. Yeah, yeah. We do have the flying saucer thing that just has lights, and you can serve like, any
We
kind of
did like a
happies.
Willy Wonka themed event once, so they filled it with candy, and then I walked around in like a character that was dressed like
Oh,
Willy
that's
Wonka
cool.
kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
For like your swanky reception, the champagne dress is like
it's pretty
like
elegant and classy. It's
yeah, it's all lit up with LED lights. Think about like a bunch of hula hoops that get consistently bigger as it goes down to the ground. So it's like the width of the dress, and then it's all connected with metal ribs, and around each of those rings is all your little champagne flutes.
Who comes up with that? Like, is this your idea and you just kind of figure out how to make it? Or has somebody just been building these crazy things? You're like, I want that, I want that. I'm going to figure out how that one works.
Well, that one in particular we saw online, and then I took some sketches on a pad of paper to one of the metal shops in town and just said, "Can you make this?" And said, "Yeah." I'm like, cool.
But make it not 100 pounds.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite light. Like one person can. It's
Yeah.
all aluminum. So,
That's sweet.
but yeah. So we have a lot of wacky characters like that.
Jack in the Box.
Yeah, we have a life-size Jack in the Box with a legit crank that makes noise, and then you have a character pop out, and maybe like for fundraisers, it can be good to have like door prizes inside.
Can you, like, does it work like the Dunk the Clown thing where, like, if you crank it enough, like, it just launches whoever's inside out?
No,
It's
there's no
more-
base. You just, as the character inside, you just decide when to pop out.
Oh.
Yeah, you're listening to the. Dun. It's actually a hacksaw blade just clipping the edge of like a cog. So it doesn't play the song. It's just like ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba
You
bum.
just hear somebody inside whistling badly.
Yeah, it's on caster wheels, so that's a fun thing to like.
It's so
Roll
fun. We
around.
did like a trick or treat of kids thing one year. It was down like a strip mall, and then you just have the kids crank the wheel and you pop out and hand them candy. It was so fun.
Every once in a while, just like pop out and just start shooting Nerf guns at them.
Yeah,
That's a great idea, actually.
yeah, because you want to have like some joke ones. I think you did have
We
like
blew bubbles one time.
yeah,
and
or you pop out and you just like put a prize that said sorry and you throw it at them.
Oh yeah, there was a
Go back
sign.
in.
Try again, you losers. Back in the box.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know. The characters are. I don't know. Me and Billy are always like that's. It's just how we hang out and like share ideas. We're online and like, oh, check out this cool costume, or this would be a cool idea, like the lampshade characters. And I don't know. We have a lot of like, and we always have like another dozen ideas. It's just deciding which one for the next gig makes sense, and can we fit that wacky idea in?
Yeah, it
So-
usually starts with a theme from the event coordinator, and then we kind of come up with the ideas. Like I think we got hired. It was the New Year's white party, and then for that one, we were at Value Village, and we saw 2 matching lampshade heads that were white, and then we had like I don't know if you've seen them, but they have tassels on them and stuff, and we just enhanced them. But it started with just the white party idea.
Yeah, so those are like headdresses that you wear. Totally blocks out your
Oh, I haven't
face.
seen those yet.
Yeah.
It sounds cool, though.
Yeah. So we want to do like a stilt walker version of that which has like a legit, turn
light
on
you can turn
someone's
on.
light so like audience members can come up and actually like turn you on.
And
then
so
all
many
the
ways to make that
innuendos.
hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like turn on, it's like a
yeah.
massive spotlight from underneath, just like.
So it's
Yeah.
just fun, man. It's a cool medium because it's yeah.
So last night I was over at my friend's place and his uncle showed me a flashlight that he brought back from Cuba. And this flashlight, you're familiar with like lumens values? It's 100,000 lumen flashlight.
Oh, is it like
It's
a
that
cannon?
cannon.
It's
thing.
this big. It's smaller than this,
Oh wow.
but it has like a double layered canvas like carrying pouch for it. And it only stays on for 70 seconds on full power. It turned on in his luggage on the plane ride.
yeah.
When he got out and unpacked his luggage and he found it, the light had burnt through both canvas layers. There's a hole that big
Wow.
Jesus.
in the canvas.
I was gonna say, did it light his
I thought his
suitcase on fire?
everyone's
Not
luggage
quite,
is
not
on
quite,
fire.
but it
Thing
burnt through
only
2
took
layers of
70
canvas.
seconds.
But like it's just like a little tiny thing. It's like you could probably attach that to like a little and have like a little searchlight or something.
Yeah.
My dad, I think, one year got us like all the kids those like 1,100 bajillion lumen spotlights, but it was like
Big
old
ones,
school.
yeah.
It was like it looked like a radar gun that the cops would use.
What
and
does a kid need that?
I don't know. your dad got his weird stuff.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
like the opposite of hide and go seek in the dark. It's like you're all blind.
Yeah.
And you
just
gotta find
blind
somebody.
everybody in the family.
well, I used it. It shone, I think, like 2 city blocks, like on the side of a building. No problem.
So dangerous.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to think it's, the dads are the hardest people to buy gifts for anyways. Like, so
Give
they,
him something ridiculous.
so they just buy us ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a dad. He made a really funny video. He took his daughter. She's probably like maybe 3, maybe 4. He took her little like electric like little cart. She just could like one pedal just goes forward, and it probably goes at like the speed of like a fast-paced walk. He removed the normal battery and replaced it with a drill bat, and the thing went. So she sat in this thing and started going, and she just Supermaned. Like it started going really fast, and she like crashed into the family car and immediately starts crying. And that's where the video ends. But all the comments are like, "Man, this kid's gonna make me undo all that work. I just put so much time. It worked really well. It was successful." And she's crying about it. Like, come on.
Don't appreciate nothing. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah. No,
No,
we
we soup up a costume though.
Yeah.
Just take whatever's in it and supercharge it. There's a light. It's now going to be a laser. Burns
Yeah.
things. Jack in the Box. It's now a human trebuchet.
Yeah.
Or Jack in the Box, just hide an airbag in there. At a Russian roulette style, after a certain number of clicks, it just goes.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't someone just recently in Vernon get like fined for shining laser lights in an airplane or
I
something?
think that happens often.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
It's-
I mean, it kind of
just
does.
Don't do it. Just don't point lasers.
I don't think there's probably a reason you're not supposed to do it.
I mean, I wonder if I can shine a light on. I'm sure that spotlight I had would probably do it too.
blind the pilots.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
that is a thing. There was somebody who was pointing at like a cruise ship, and they got like SWAT teams sent after them. Like
Do
they
they
were
think
just.
it's like a sniper or?
It could be. You'll have no idea what it could be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, usually those high-power lasers are attached to something.
Mm-hmm.
Usually just like, and here on my slide
Oh, it's
is,
just
if you see the thing over here.
some raver kid in full tie-dye just calling the SWAT. Just thought it'd be cool.
Hey, what's the thing in March? On the 19th. Or no,
Oh.
is it all of March? There was something that's on the 19th as well.
Yeah, just
there were
the
2
19th.
things.
March 19th. That's the main one. That's going to be at the Creekside Theatre
Yeah.
and
yeah.
our second production of Allure.
I think that's the one that we're calling cabaret too because it has a range of everything.
Yeah, it's like bringing in subcontracted acts and then our entire troupe on site. We have an opening act with Jody B. She's like an amazing musician with like loop pedals, but it's like it's a 19 plus kind of event.
Mhm.
Saucy, seductive, mystery and intrigue, and excitement and energy are like the themes. We're breaking into 3 themes, so yeah, you're gonna get an opening act and then a little break, and then you come back in for a 60-minute circus cabaret, whatever you want to call it, experience. So yeah, we're all busy putting together those acts right now. It's not often we get like the use of a theater and like the theater lighting and don't have to contend with weather.
That's always nice.
Yeah.
Because we do that all year long basically, but yeah, that'll be a good one. We're trying to sell lots of tickets too, because if we do really well, we'll get invited back, and
Yeah.
I want to do more theater stuff. 'Cause, yeah, their capabilities are awesome. Yeah.
Well, I don't actually know the origins of Cirque du Soleil, but was it kind of starting with like smaller type shows and kind of gaining popularity, and eventually had like more budget to make crazier, bigger, wilder things? Is that kind of how it started? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just started very humble, like honestly like us, and then just someone had the vision and had more money thrown at them. Estelle at Caravan was telling me that roughly the story because she's known a bunch of people from inception of Cirque du Soleil to now.
Yeah, I know Alvin Tam. He used to work for them.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Really cool guy. I saw him and his wife. They were both doing some fire spinning stuff and some acrobatics for a short film that he wrote with a few other people. It's like
the Night Circus, wasn't it?
Shadow Circus.
Shadow Circus. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd been like on his bucket list for a long time to do like a short film, and last year made it happen. I think they started putting it all together like more seriously in the springtime or like late winter, and then June I think it was that we shot it. I got to run a camera for a couple of days in the Vernon Performing Arts Center for like a lot of the circus scenes in it. They did a few more that I wasn't able to be part of, but
I'm getting FOMO hearing about it because he did an interview with me. He wanted to have me part of it, but it literally was you guys were filming the week we were moving into our house. And like, there's no way I could make it work. But
oh man,
yeah, the concept. I saw the storyboard and the printouts. I'm like, this is legit. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it turned out really well. It was a fun project.
Has it been released? Like,
it's coming out very, very soon.
Okay.
Cool.
I helped them with a couple like the last recording bits of like some voiceovers. We lost audio for one of the scenes, and we lost video for one of the other scenes, like corrupted cards.
Oh, no.
Back up your shit.
Yes.
That's all I'll say from that. But yes, we had to redo some of the dialogue, and we actually set up like a little studio here. So like downstairs in front of the TV was like him and Alexi. What's his actual name? Alexi is his character's name. Anyways, terrible names. But yeah, so they were downstairs like watching the movie, like their scenes, and like we're upstairs like talking to them like through headphones, like we're up in like my editing room, and we're just like playing over and over, and like they're trying to like say the lines the way that they did to try and match the way that it looked on screen, because it's got to sound the way that it looks.
That's
like if
an
you
operation.
have like a lot of energy in your face, you can't sound like you're just talking casually. It has to match. So we did like lots of takes that way, and it turned out pretty well. But yeah, it was fun. So I got to see like it almost finished at that state.
Cool.
Yeah.
So after that, he had to take it to do like the final audio post production and like the coloring done. So it's in like the final stage right now. But I haven't seen the whole thing fully completed yet.
Yeah, hopefully we do some work with Alvin in the future. I think what Ryan Don is wanting to do out at Creekside Theatre, starting with Allure, but he's also working with another local group called Cosmic Commotion. But he's trying to do like almost like a Okanagan circus collective. So I think next spring, he wants to have like us and Cosmic Commotion and maybe Alvin Tam and a bunch of other like subcontractors to do like multiple circus shows. You can do fire spinning in the courtyard there. They have the whole building. You could have like stilt walkers and rovers. So it's like a big top night with all local circus performers.
Oh, it's nice because it's a full-on school.
It's an amazing
built onto the
school. I
same
wish my
theater.
high school was that cool. Like,
Yeah,
it
we
wasn't.
didn't have a theater in my high school. That
Yeah.
was awesome.
We had a gym that had pull-out bleachers.
A
and
multi-purpose room.
these kids are spoiled. Like,
Yeah,
But
that
yeah.
place has had quite a few things happen to it, but it's been upgraded for quite a few years, like in little increments. And yeah, then it got flooded a few years ago.
yeah. Well, he's just saying they upgrade all their lighting with like $150K, like brand new stuff. Like, yeah,
Sounds like a lot. It's probably like
3 lights.
30 or something. We spent $400,000 on his laser pointer. We can point it at pilots.
Yeah, I walk around Wentworth Music a few times. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I need a sub. It's how much for a sub for my PA?
Yeah,
Are you
that
kidding me?
stuff
Like,
that stuff is not cheap. It takes a lot, and that's why you gotta get tickets sold. You gotta keep venues open and stop shutting
Yes.
shit down.
yeah, it was interesting. It still is interesting because I mean, everything that the pandemic has sort of like brought into our psyches and our way of life is just. I couldn't have prepared for all of it. I was expecting some with just like shutdowns and lockdowns, but how that would like affect, everything moving forward with like relationships and everything. It's like, and how we plan events now. It's like,
Yeah, I don't think
it
I
was
can
already
think of a
hard
time-
enough.
I can't think of a time where this many people are comfortable planning and getting things ready and practicing, rehearsing, get all the stuff together for something that might happen.
Yeah.
It's like, it could get canceled at any moment, but like if you knew like 2 years ago that whatever it is that you're practicing for like in a month, it might not happen. You'd be like, well, I'm out. Let me know when it's actually happening. And
Yeah.
that'll be part of it.
Yeah.
Now people are like, yeah, I'll plan a whole thing that could get canceled the week of. I don't know. And that's okay. It's
Doesn't
kind
know.
of weird, but it's cool because now people are just trying stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like released some stress and added some other stress that I didn't really have before. But yeah, when it was all like full lockdown and just getting out of it sort of time, we weren't like investing a whole bunch of practice on new stuff that might not happen. It's like, okay, we're gonna lay back on our existing choreography and maybe spice it up a bit. But yeah, to like, especially like the biggest hit was when the dance studios shut down because we lost our training space over the winter, and that was devastating.
Oh yeah, because you got that nice big yard, but that doesn't help when it's the way it is right now.
Yeah,
like unless you're really dedicated.
It's like the only way to stay sharp through the winter is to have a space, and yeah, it's back. As long as I don't break any more mirrors.
Yeah, Tait breaks the mirror the first week back.
Okay, so that just happened this week.
That happened very recently.
It happened the first day of my Christmas vacation. The first day, the morning.
I think you came home and you're like, well, Merry Christmas to Tait.
Yeah. Yeah. It was bad, but it had to happen because now
we're cautious.
Tread carefully. But yeah, so I don't know. It just feels like we're kind of.
I think that, I mean, our show in March could get canceled, but
it could.
It still feels good to have a reason to be excited again.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, last year, like from October on, it was busy as ever. We didn't have a New Year's gig, surprisingly, but up until
October to December was crazy.
Like we didn't stop. I didn't sleep well from like September to Christmas holidays, basically. Because
in this case, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good for us. We needed that.
Just to get your butts back in gear, and it's like, oh yeah, like because me and Billy have full-time jobs around the circus thing, so it's gig life for us can kind of fit into our existing 9-to-5 lifestyle, which is it's a blessing and a curse sometimes, but we have flexible jobs, so it's good. We can still get the bills paid and have this extra income and creative release. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose the nice thing as well about like the kind of performances you're doing is they're predominantly, as far as I know, like in the evening hours or nighttime hours.
Exactly.
So even if it is like everything's open, everything's in full swing, it's probably not going to interfere too much.
Exactly. We might need to leave work a little bit earlier to get on site on a Friday evening.
5 o'clock or something.
Yeah, if it's out of town. But I kind of like with my new job, I just told the boss straight over, like, this is what I'm involved in. Like, I'll give you free tickets, but I'm gonna need the odd long weekend, or I need to leave early. This and that. So
it's good to have flexible jobs for that.
Yeah,
flexible bosses that are interested in what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. The print industry is pretty good. They can help us print banners or flyers if we need them. And, Billy's work, she's a graphic designer.
That's true.
Everything's kind of like doing this, which I think is a beautiful thing.
Somehow me and Tait do pretty much everything with like all the poster design I do, and then he prints everything for us. It's it's a good team.
Yeah, I still got my Numa card. That was really nice.
Yeah.
I got it next to my desk.
Yeah, mine's nice.
Numa was birthed out of the pandemic.
That's
too.
True.
That's true. Yeah, that was inspired by not being able to actually do like a full-on event elsewhere. It's like, okay, well, we're just gonna.
It was actually for Billy's brother, technically.
Yeah, my brother, he's just really into like Burning Man and Shambhala, and he's really into those festivals. Like that's where he's social. He's mostly an introvert kind of person, but I just felt bad that he didn't have that, and I just wanted to have that style of experience. So we decided to create Numa, which was like a collaborative event. I don't know if you guys came to the 2021, but
no, last year was the first time I got to.
So the first
same for you, I think, as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a way for everybody to come together and put the event on. It wasn't like we were just throwing a party or doing a performance at a party. It was like everybody brought something to it. And yeah, that was what was really special. So we all made it what it was. And Numa actually means the vital spirit, soul, or creative force of a person. So that was kind of how we came to that name as well.
It was the new Tool album had just come out after 10 plus years, and one of the songs on there, one of my favorite songs, is called Numa. I'm like, I didn't pronounce it. I'm like Niuma. It's like pterodactyl. You don't know how to like say it, but I'm like, that's an interesting word. What does that mean? It's like, the vital soul, spirit, or breath of a person. Cool. That's a really awesome name for.
And that was how we were feeling. Like we had to be creative. We had to still do something.
Yeah. Yeah. It had that vibe too. Like it was like, we need to do this.
Yeah.
We need to do this because it's got to be let out somewhere. and just gonna create the space to let it out in and make it our own. Like, that was a really cool event. I really enjoyed it. It was fun just to, like, some of it I had no idea what to do, but that was fine. I didn't have to do anything. I could just enjoy being there.
Well, you'll know what to do next year. So or this year rather, because we'll do it again. Yeah.
Yeah, so even when the pandemic ends, if and when it ends, it's going to continue. I think it's going to be every year.
And hopefully we can have people inside the house this year.
Yeah.
'Cause even the first year of regulations, it was like we could do 50 people, could be inside, outside. I don't know. Everyone's comfort levels is different, and yeah, we just kept it as a outdoor barbecue this year. But I think there was only like 30 people there this year. It wasn't bad
For Numa?
for
At the
Numa.
new place?
Yeah. But yeah, one of my favorite like quotes about Numa that actually came out in the first Oracle card deck that Billy made for 2020 was creativity is the greatest rebellion in existence. Go be
I
creative.
like that.
Yeah, because it is.
Yeah, you're taking something from all the stuff that's already pre-existing and doing something completely different with it based on like what you feel like you need to do. It's like following that conviction in some way to do something not already done.
By all means, like, complain and get pissed off about things, but if you're just gonna like stay in that area and not get creative and find a way to like dig yourself out of it, then you're not helping yourself. You're not helping your community. You're not doing better. So I don't know. Creativity, I think, is like one of the most amazing things that human beings can do. You know,
Yeah,
I'm sure animals have their own weird creativity that we're unaware of, but I think humans are pretty blessed in that.
Yes, a lot of people found their creative spirit in the midst of a lot of stuff that they were accustomed to being able to go do, taken away from. They kind of had to just find new avenues, and some people just shut down and folded into their shells and just complained, did nothing about it. But
there's a lot of like sort of cliche phrases about it, you know, like turn your broken heart into art. It's another thing, like
there's a name for that pottery style that's like you have to break the bowl and then like you glue it back together again with gold. I forget what the name of that is, but like that's like the classic one that people usually go to is like, here, take your broken shit and make some cool shit from it.
Gold on it.
Yeah. And then at some point you'll just end up with buckets and Rubbermaids full of shit in your house and be like, well, I know I can and Rubbermaids full of broken mirrors in the back of your truck.
That's how you
I know I'm going to use this one day.
Actually, that would be a cool ceiling piece.
Oh, yeah.
If it was like the broken, like exploded view of the mirror made into like a slightly larger rectangle, like stuck to some kind of surface, that would be really cool.
I was so terrified because I hired a guy to take it off the wall and the mirror is butted up right close to like the other mirrors. They're 6 foot by. It's hilarious for coming back to the mirror. It's so fresh. But anyways, it was like butted right up close to the other 6 foot by 8 foot mirrors. And I'm like, it's just glued to the wall. So I'm like, how do you get it off? It's like spider webbed, but he comes in, he like tapes off the other ones and he just takes a rubber mallet. This guy's not even wearing like eye protection or anything. He just comes in, he's just like, starts smashing. And I'm just waiting to hear like, or just see the fractures on the other mirrors that are like right next to it, but luckily they didn't. He got a piece in his eye even like one time.
I was gonna say like,
he's like, oh, did I get it?
just
I'm
waiting to hear it just say, ow!
like, didn't he like cut his finger? I'm like, is this how mirror glass people operate? Like, did I get some ghetto one? I hope he doesn't watch this. Sorry, Chris. I'm sure he's been doing it a while. I thought eye protection at the very least, because like, he's like, oh yeah, watch your eyes. I'm like, fuck, I put on like my sunglasses. Like, yeah. Anyway,
That'd be like one of the things you find out afterwards. Like, actually, this guy is blind.
It's just a blind guy.
He just goes by feel. He goes until his fingers hurt, and that's where the right spot is. Then he takes away that bit.
I wanted to just call him on it. Oh shit, I got one in my eye. I'm just like, yeah. There's a shocker there, Chris. Like, anyway, take my money, please. And fix it. Yeah, it was an experience. Yeah. I won't give his company name, but yeah.
There's a Happy Tree Friends episode in there somewhere. Oh man, that show. That show is like the cartoon version of
I actually don't know what
Nature's
you're
Metal.
talking about.
You never seen Happy Tree Friends?
No.
Oh,
I feel like I might know what you're talking about, but if,
cartoons,
Like really
very
gruesome.
violent.
like if they were taken off, they were pretended that they were pitched as kids cartoons and they got taken off.
No, that's a different one.
Okay.
No, the one. So Happy Tree Friends. I'll give you an example. They're like 20 minutes long or so. Like they're pretty short. Up to 15.
This
to
is
20
all
minutes.
like YouTube.
Yeah, you
video
can
kind of
YouTube them. The theme song is hilarious. One of the things I'm going to do in this show is have like a computer on standby, just look shit up and be able to show it. So otherwise, I'd show it to you right
Young
now.
Jamie.
Exactly.
that up,
Yeah,
please?
but I'm all of that. This. Welcome to Jamie. This is Jamie. This is Jamie.
Yeah.
This is Jamie. This is Jamie. But yeah, so Happy Tree Friends. One of the episodes, like one of the ones that I remember the most, because I don't know why, but I do.
Well, cash.
Damn it, Jamie. Jamie, pass me another beer or cider.
Sure.
So this Happy Tree Friends episode, there's this like Papa Bear and his baby bear kid, and he's given a bath in the kitchen sink. It was like they always start out very innocent, and then it goes south. So in this case, it went south, and that kid's playing around in the kitchen sink, and the dad's like, "Oh, it's kind of hard to see in here." He looks around for like the light switch, and there's two, and he hits one of them, and you hear this, brrrr, and the kid starts crying. It's like, "Ah," like cartoon tears flowing out of his face, and he's like, "Oh no!" He turns it off and tries to pick him up, and he's stuck because he's half in the carburetor. And so he tries to go underneath the kid's still crying. He goes underneath, tries to like undo the piping, like smacks himself in the face with like a wrench or something. It gets more and more violent. There's one episode called Blind Date, and just before the guy picks up the girl to go on a date, the girl gets killed, but the guy is blind and doesn't know she's dead. So he takes a corpse on like this full series of date things, and it's like there's flies around her, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. Yeah, that's Happy Tree Friends. It's
That
horrendously
sounds like a
violent show.
late night before bed
Yeah.
watch.
It is very,
Puffs
very
of
funny.
weed.
It's so far over the top. I love it. But yeah, the theme song sounds like shitty singing. It's great.
Happy Tree Friends.
Happy Tree Friends.
Yeah, I know the one you were
I
thinking.
think to put in the iPhone.
Oh
one,
yeah,
do
that's
we?
true. I can
You
actually.
probably bring one up.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna pull this up. Talk amongst yourselves for a sec.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking of the one that it's kind of just a black and white drawing.
Rejected cartoons. I think
Rejected
it's called.
cartoons.
Yeah,
Have you
that
seen
one's
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the guy who is contracted to write like a bunch of children's cartoons or like draw a bunch out, and like this
Yeah.
the one with like, the baby falling down like the never-ending staircase. The
Silly
I am a
hats.
banana.
Yeah, silly hats only.
Or do not read the sign. Oh no, sorry, that's cyanide and happiness. There's like a sign that says "Do not read," and someone like walks over and just start looking up at the sign, and immediately two policemen with like nightsticks appear out of nowhere, and start beating the shit out of this guy.
Yeah.
Gosh, the little like ping pong balls or whatever are just dancing. This is fun, and then the one starts just says his anus is bleeding and like
Just
fills up the
continues.
screen. Oh, yeah.
Here's the Happy Tree Friends song. Come on. Maybe.
Oh, I can hear it.
Yeah, it sounds very innocent. It's a very violent
I would look for
cartoon.
that.
Yeah.
It's all like bad Simpsons style animation. It's great.
Nice.
Hilarious.
Yeah, we'll check that out.
Yeah.
We need some good YouTube stuff. We can watch it in VR.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
That would be hilarious.
You can hook up your like YouTube to the Oculus VR, I think too. It's part of an app.
I'm just happy I finally have like an Apple TV, so I can just like play my phone to the TV.
Oh
So I had a Fire Stick before this. Fire Sticks are garbage. They're horrible.
We have
Like
a
the
Chromecast. I
Yeah.
don't know about the Fire Stick.
Yeah, like the Chromecast, you're playing everything from your device and it's just being cast to the TV. The Fire Stick, it is playing everything, but just like the remote's just like arrow buttons, and the voice thing doesn't work very well, and the apps are kind of meh. It's just not awesome. So yeah, you're better off with the Chromecast.
Yeah, Billy's been bringing me up to speed on all this technology stuff for the past 3 years. Every time I'm just amazed by something that's been around probably forever. She's just like, "Welcome to the future, Tate."
It's some pretty simple things.
It really is, yeah. Like the Chromecast blew my. Really, I can just. Oh, it's on the TV now. That's amazing. I could cook dinner and that's great.
When it first came out, I didn't get what anyone was talking about. Just saying, yeah, I'm just casting it to my Chromecast. I'm like, I don't. First of all, what do those words mean? Second, in that order. Third, what the fuck? Like, I just don't know what you're talking about. Finally figured it out, and by that point, like it's as normal as anything. But yeah.
Yeah. What else was a fascination? Technological advancement for
there's
me.
one thing that you don't like, and I have some lights in our house that are on remote control.
Oh, for the love of God! Yeah, I can't turn on lights in my house.
You have to get the app.
I don't want the app.
Okay, I'm with you on that. These are all Philips Hue lights, but I need a physical controller
I just
because
want to do this.
I want that. I also want I want the app to be able to do way more. So like this is like my setup with like the dimness and everything, and I set it up to be like this. But I've got like a button thing over there, and you just hit the button.
Yeah,
You got to have this.
No, I'll agree.
And
we
the app.
need both. But it's like she gets mad at me if I turn on the switch or like turn off. She's like, you turned off the switch. Now I gotta reprogram my app.
Because then it goes white instead of purple.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
So I have packing tape on the light switches, so you can't turn them off.
Okay.
And then I
out the
have like a
switches.
smart switch next to it or
Yeah.
nearby. So you just hit the smart switch, and it's got like all the groups of what turns off and on. And
That's what we need. We need a smart switch.
Yeah, because I need that. I will get the app
I
one
like
day.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm lazy with my cell phone.
if you're looking for the light switch and you have to take your phone out, find the app, it's like
Yeah. No,
I'm
I
just gonna turn on my
agree, I
flashlight and look around with that thing at this point.
Hope you have enough battery because I don't know. Yeah, I'm one of those people.
I switched out the kitchen sink lights with like a motion sensor light system over top, so I can just like walk in front of it. 'Cause like I just never found that switch. It's like hidden behind everything all the time. Like I want stuff to not be in the way. I don't like it when like I say that and then I have all this tech that breaks on me constantly. But the things that I live
Need
with all the
more.
time, like this is my hobby though. This is the fun thing. The stuff that I live with, I want it to just work. I hate it if like every time you're trying to hit the can at 2 a.m. or whatever, you have to find your phone, find the app, and oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Just gonna guess and listen. Hope the echoes sound correct.
I do like a lot of like the remote automation that Billy has brought into my life, but the app on the phone for the lights, I'm not there yet. And I know what'll happen. I'll get the app on my phone and right away I'll be like, "Oh, this is great."
I
And
can make it green or
Yeah.
blue.
I
You're
know
gonna-
what'll happen.
You're gonna
but-
come back to the house and you'd be like, "Why is everything strobing?"
Tate's got the VR on, shooting zombies.
Snakes just sit in the corner vibing.
Don't forget the chickens and the dog.
Yeah.
Chickens are the ones sitting just pecking the remote over and over, just cycling through all the different effects.
Okay, I gotta make that happen.
Yeah.
If you set up a little tripwire in the chicken coop, so like you know if they're in this half of the yard or that half of the yard, because either there's like a light show going on in the kitchen cupboards, or there's like a little like motorized thing just like spinning in circles. Like, well, I know where the chickens are based on the chaos happening here.
Well, they'd probably be into it.
Yeah.
They would come into the house at the old place on Coronation.
When they were babies, yeah.
yeah.
Till they started having large.
Then there was that one morning at Thompson where one like got out of the coop in the night and was just like in the yard in the morning.
Yeah, I like open the curtains in the morning, look in the yard.
And Billy's like, "There's a chicken out there." I come out because you let them out of the coop every morning. He's just like across the yard. And he just
They run to Tate when he
They're
comes
so-
outside.
I just run like for the lack of a better word, like I just picture like a skinny, drunken German man in like a lederhosen. Like the lederhosen's too tight, and they're just like
It's like those little creatures that don't have arms. They just have like looks like they're
Yeah.
permanently stuck in their pockets. They're just
Yeah.
like running around in overalls.
they're just like, "Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Got food for me?" Yeah.
Okay, I've heard of chickens doing some like they're not the smartest animals in the world, but I've heard of some people's chickens figuring things out. It's like, how the fuck did you figure that out?
I think they're pretty smart.
Like
pretty
I've
smart.
so
I think they are.
there was one guy, he told me this story of when he was growing up on a farm, he had chickens, and they kept on finding a chicken like over their 8-foot wall in the neighbor's fence. Not the neighbor's fence, in the neighbor's yard, over the fence. And they didn't know how they were doing it. And eventually they found, like they had like a bunch of chickens. What they found is they kept on going to this little tree and like smacking their heads against it until things started to fall, and they would like jump up the tree
What?
and jump over the fence. Like he watched it happen once.
Whoa.
But they kept on finding them in the neighbor's yard for like weeks. They had no idea how they were getting over because they can't fly. but they kept on like finding ways to like make things fall and climb up the tree and then jump over for what reason, I have no idea. Like, how do chickens lose a bet? But they were doing things they had no idea how they accomplished it, but they're not smart creatures, and yet they did smart things.
They're kind of smart. Like
Yeah, I don't know.
they do have personalities too. Like each chicken that we have.
Yeah, especially like, I mean, when we had the.
They need like financial advisors for Bitcoin.
But here's the other thing is that it doesn't have the same properties now that it did 5 years ago. So I don't know how you'd have a financial advisor
Yeah.
who could
Well,
actually
unless it
say
was-
anything of value
Yeah.
because what they learned last year makes no difference today. Like from day to day it changes. So it's one of those, like, there's some people that will advise you do these things for long term. If you want to just kind of forget about it for a while, think about it every couple of weeks or every few days or months or whatever it is, like long term version. And there's people who want to be in it every day. And there's ways to make both work for you. Like there's some people like that's everything they do, 100% that, and they are multimillionaires. And there's other people who just want to have that as like their side thing, and it's making the money on the side, and eventually they're going to quit what they're doing, and that's going to help them float for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
I need to learn about it because
Yeah.
I hear Tyler. He's like, I don't know. He's my boss is like a very smart guy, and he's like, I've just heard him breathing about crypto in and out. He's just like, you know what? It's not. And this is going back a couple years. It just what the comment he made that stuck with me is like, it's not a big deal right now. He's like, but I can see this being like, it's gonna be how it is in the future, and it's. If you can foreshadow the future, like it's not terribly exciting right now, but if you can like play it safe with it, like it's gonna be how the world probably operates.
Yeah, like, I have a
Future.
feeling if you bought one meta stock today and did nothing with it for 10 years, you'd be very happy 10 years
Yeah.
from now that you bought one.
Yeah, because the metaverse and stuff is just. Well, I mean, we're excited, especially because we got a headset recently, but I can just see its potential. So I kind of want to buy one. I don't really want to spend $350 on one stock, but
Apple stocks are worth several thousand now, and several like 10 years ago they were a couple hundred, I think.
I could see it. I don't know. That tech is like. I don't understand shit about Bitcoin, but I understand that VR stuff, and if it's anything that like Facebook went or
well, yeah,
whatever, it's
I like investing in things that I care about and that are interesting. I don't want to just like, okay, what's gonna make the most money? Like something that is cool. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I hope it's gonna make money, but I don't want
It's
to.
cool if it's both.
Yeah.
If it's interesting and
yes,
it's lucrative.
exactly.
Yeah, a lot of things that we do are fun and cost money,
Yeah,
and some things are boring and make money.
yeah,
And if they can be cool and make money, that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys
I'm
have
also
to-
happy that we're not online for this because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
We're all just saying the wrong thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
These
it's
fuckers
cool
talking
though,
about
'cause
Bitcoin
it's,
like they know
it's a
a
thing
thing.
that matters that is brand new and I have no idea what it is. I just get to learn about something that I've never thought was going to be serious.
Yeah,
Like I remember hearing about Bitcoin when it first took off. I remember what venue I was in when my coworker told me about it, and it was 2017. And we were talking about how like a friend of his, if he had kept his Bitcoin that he sold like a couple years earlier, he'd be able to retire. But he had like tens of Bitcoins and he sold them.
Huh.
But he bought them for like $10 or something.
Oh, I
like
get a
that
kick
each.
out of the people that like ordered a pizza with it.
Yeah. Yeah, like that
They're
kind
like,
of
oh, this
stuff.
is so cool, like a cryptocurrency. It's like, I'm gonna order pizza, and now they're going, why did I?
Oh my
That
god.
pizza
Yeah.
could have bought me that building.
Heartbreaking.
or the people that bought drugs from Shiny Flakes guy and
Yeah.
they bought a bag of weed like one time because it was cool to buy weed on the dark web.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys have to come over and try the VR.
Yeah.
Love to.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. You're gonna have to film me falling over.
Yeah, I filmed Whitley last night, flailing around.
Yeah.
It's just, I brought it to my parents' house for Christmas too. Strapped
it's
my
so
dad
funny.
into like a mountain exploration thing or
With
like
the
di-
dinosaur one.
The dinosaur one. There's a raptor right here. He's right here, Jill. Oh, there's a flying one.
Your dad is just very dad-like, so it's
Yeah.
so funny to see him reacting to that stuff.
I knew exactly what
Yeah.
was gonna happen.
I actually really
Did
want
not
to see
disappoint.
your goggles because I was actually thinking, I saw this Facebook video of some grandmother who is shown, I think it was the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, you were talking about when we went and saw your grandpa.
Yeah, like I was thinking
Yeah,
after,
they
like,
didn't
so my
confirm.
grandpa, he lived in Germany and Swiss. He lived in Switzerland for a little while, but like my mom and her family, like she grew up in Germany, and my grandpa was like a missionary. He would travel around as like the pianist with like this missionary group for a while, and like travel all around Europe for a long time. And there's no way he's going to be able to travel anymore now. Like he's here. He lives in Alberta in Airdrie, and he's not going to be able to travel anymore. But how cool would it be to show him some places that have been captured in very, very high
Yeah.
resolution with these goggles? Like he would have like a trip down memory lane and be like, holy shit, this is cool. So
Yeah.
like, okay, I want to get a set so that I can bring it over to him and be like, hey, check this out. You can travel a little bit without having to travel because then you can't anymore.
There's a
Yeah.
whole wallet of those like tourist ones, and those ones are all free. Like,
I was gonna say, how cool would it be to start documenting, like, when you travel and you come back to show the family pictures, but instead it's like, here you
Oh,
go.
he used to do that. He had the full, like the reels with like, the slide projector.
Oh, yeah.
And like you like click through and go,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like drop
My
the slide
grandpa
in.
had that
Yeah,
shit
he
too,
could
yeah,
show
from
us
the
those, like
war.
talk us through the photos. Like, all right, let's see the updated version. Put these on your face.
Yeah.
so what is it? Is it just what is the camera to, like the 3D camera? Is it like a
Oh, I have a
globe
GoPro
with-
360. You can have them with lots of cameras, but the thing is
It's
you have
got
to
lenses
stitch
all
multiple
around?
cameras together. Ideally, they see more than they need to. So if you only have two cameras, like my GoPro Max, it has one camera here, and there's like a line where it can't really see. It's like 180 point something degrees, 180.5. And so that little tiny overlap is where the stitching is.
okay?
But if you look in the video at that bit where it crosses over, you can kind of see like a little bit of like a blurred line.
okay.
Where the higher end cameras will have multiple lenses and there's a greater degree of crossover. So the stitching is more seamless. So there's there's a company called Insta360. They have what's called a Titan, which is 8 cameras. It's 8 cameras in this like ball, and it's 11.5K for resolution, or 10K 3D. So you can be looking around and actually have like depth
Wow.
perception between the 8 cameras. Like
Yeah.
it's 8 in a big circle, and you can like look around and everything is in 3D, or it can be like a slightly higher resolution. It's all just 2D. But the more cameras you have, the better the stitching, and yeah, like there's different ways of doing it. You can actually live stream it that way as well.
Wow.
I think that Tony Hawk one we watched was live stream.
Yeah.
It was like they were doing like a competition where they were trying to get the guys to go over the loop-de-loop. And it seemed like it was live, but
It wasn't replayed. It was only that one time.
yeah. So they just had a camera and the guy was talking saying like, "Oh, well, Anne-Marie, you also have our VR audience."